Hey there, and welcome back to another episode of the Profitable Mindset Podcast.
Welcome to the Profitable Mindset, a show dedicated to teaching you the skills you need to build a profitable product-based business that makes you feel free and fully in control. Here is your host, Charlotte Smith.
Hey there, welcome to episode number 28 of the Profitable Mindset Podcast, where today I'm going to talk about how to retain all these new customers a lot of us have gotten through this coronavirus pandemic. And some of you might be saying right now, like, hey, what new customers? My markets are closed and I haven't been able to sell a thing. Well, if that's the case, be sure to tune in to episode 26 so you can pivot very quickly there. I've got some steps on how to do that. Pivot to delivery if you have not been able to make sales. All right. And I've got lots of tips in there that'll help. But others of you are writing to me and saying that demand is crazy high and you're selling as fast as you can. I have seen lots of comments about some of you selling out so that you're not even going to have product now for months, and just all sorts of crazy scenarios going on. So if this is you and you've been lucky enough to be in that camp of having tons of new demand and buyers for your product, then you'll want to be very strategic right now and be that great business person that we are and start thinking ahead. Even though we're busy, maybe even a little overwhelmed right now, we have to be thinking ahead to when everything goes back to normal. How will you retain these new customers as loyal customers? All right. You'll want to start doing that now or they will disappear. So I have a simple process I'm going to talk to you about in the rest of the podcast. It's not very long. It's going to be something that you can implement with ease, starting immediately to guarantee these people come back. So first of all, though, I want to invite you to a free coaching session this week. I am a business mindset coach. I am certified, trained, and very experienced in this. And I have decided to do free coaching calls for the next probably 2 months at least throughout this pandemic. I always do coaching calls for my marketing students, but I'm opening them up to my whole email list to help you through this. Okay. It's going to help you with any struggle you're having throughout this time. All right. Just this last week, I coached farmers on how to easily move from overwhelm to focus. I coached another one on how to move from scattered to feeling proud and happy at the amount she was getting done in her day. What happens is when you learn to manage your thoughts and your actions, you then learn to create the results you want in your farm business. All right. You don't just have to be at the mercy of any of your circumstances. You can take control and build a profitable business. So sign up for a coaching call. You don't have to get coached. If you want to just sit back and watch, you can do that too. But the sign up is at 3cowmarketing.com/coaching. And if you don't want to get coached live, there will be a recording. It will be emailed out to you afterward, but you've got to sign up at that link to get the emailed recording. Okay. So just know that 3cowmarketing.com/coaching, sign up there, and you can email me if you want coaching personally. I can do about 3 or 4 people per week. And let me tell you this, you will learn from watching other people be coached. Sometimes you learn even more when you watch somebody else, because it's not like the deer in the headlights of you being coached yourself. But either way, you are going to grow a ton if you choose to get coached too. It is intense. It is life-changing. It is transformational. And my marketing students can tell you how great it is, but sign up so that you can learn and watch and maybe even be coached too. And you get to experience it yourself, how wonderful it is when you learn to take control of your mind, your thinking, your feeling, the results in your business and your bottom line. You have control over all that. I'll show you how. All right, now let me jump back to today's episode. Want to talk to you about why you have to take control of making sure you retain all these new customers. Here's why they will disappear if you don't do something about it. These customers have come to us because of scarcity and fear right now, okay? The grocery store shelves are running low. It's all over the news. Some of them are bare, and it's been weeks now, so people are starting to panic. And somehow they hear about their local farmer who has some beef or eggs or chickens or vegetables, and they are flocking to us. One of my marketing students emailed me this week that she averages $1,500 a day in sales. She's now selling $15,000 a day since this started, 10 times her sales. But luckily, she is in my marketing course and knows exactly how to retain those customers. Because what's going to happen is when this scarcity is over and people aren't as fearful of missing out on food and the store shelves are restocked and they are consistently full, and again, the fear is subsided, most of these new buyers will go back to their old shopping habits. And why? Because people buy from us, farmers that are usually a little more money and kind of out of the way and inconvenient. They buy from us based on the relationship we build with them, the strong relationship. And if you're too busy to learn how to build this relationship with these new customers, they won't feel a connection to you. And so they'll leave when everything is restocked and becomes more convenient back at the grocery store. And I don't want you to think that just meeting them once and making them feel good and think that that is the connection you need and you're all set. And when they get through their quarter beef, they're going to come back and reorder. You've heard me talk in my email marketing training, hopefully, about how just that one-time meeting or one-time correspondence with you does not build a relationship and a feeling of connection. They've got to hear from you at least every 2 weeks, year-round. So building a connection with them once at the point of purchase, even though it may feel like a really strong connection and they're really excited to have found you, you've still got to maintain that connection from here forward so that they come back. So I'm going to teach you a few simple steps you can do right now. Totally free. Doesn't cost you a thing except a little bit of time. And trust me, you will want to decide to take the little bit of time this takes, because that will guarantee they'll come back to you when this all passes, whether that's months from now or maybe a year from now. And I'm seeing a lot of farmers discussing what's happening online. And I can tell that these people that are commenting on different blog posts in different places online, these farmers aren't aware that people are buying from us because of scarcity. And I can tell that by the comments they're saying. So some of it's in my Facebook group, The Profitable Mindset, but I also see it on all kinds of other posts and groups too. And people are saying things like, well, I hope these customers remember us when the stores open back up again. Or I see comments like, I hope these people choose to shop with us when they can get their regular delivery elsewhere. I've even seen some people make some bitter comments like, oh, these are people that are all going to go away when this is over. So, and I hope they remember us. Or they'll say something like, wow, people are finally finding out the value of farm fresh food. Again, I want to tell you, they aren't finding out the value. They're just feeling scarcity and fear, and they're buying from us. You've got to teach them the value. Anyway, what I call all of those comments that people are making is hope marketing. Okay, and hope marketing doesn't work. So what that means is, I hope people come back. I hope people remember us when this is all over. That's hope marketing. Doesn't work. It'll never work, okay? So people who build profitable farms don't just get lucky when 80% of their customers return. They were very strategic to guarantee that 80% of their customers returned. They intentionally made that happen. And I'm going to teach you today a very simple process to start that. So I don't want you guys to be one of those farmers who just hopes people will come by or hopes they'll come back in the future, even though the stores are restocked. I want you to be one of those farmers that guarantees you're going to have about an 80% retention rate. When you learn the skills I teach in Farm Marketing Mastery, you can expect about an 80% retention rate. It's amazing how this works when you're strategic about it. So you've got to learn to take action. Now, the first step is, do you even think that's possible? Do you think an 80% or higher retention rate is possible? For you, not for me or one of my marketing students, but do you believe it's possible for you? I know without a doubt it's possible. I'm a master marketer. I've built my own profitable farm. Now I teach others how to build their profitable farms through the same marketing mastery. And the first thing it starts with is you have to believe you can retain those customers. And you might think, don't start with those beliefs, Charlotte. Just jump ahead. Tell me the strategies. Let's get past this. But I can tell you this, the strategy will not work for you if you don't believe it will work. If you do the strategies I teach, I'm about to tell you, and in the back of your mind, you're doubting what I'm teaching will work for you, then it won't work. And what happens is that doubting energy will come through in the words you write and in the tone that your marketing takes. I promise you this is true. If you decide to take action, but you don't think it will work, that will shine through and you will turn people off. When someone comes to me and they say, email marketing doesn't work because no one checks their email, then I know they aren't practicing marketing mastery and starting with the very first step of actually thinking it will work. It works when you believe it works, and it won't work if you don't think it will work. I see this every day with my marketing students. So let's start with your belief. How do you believe it will work? And know that belief is a thought you think over and over again so that it becomes a very strong thought that you can automatically just default to. So what I want you to do is come up with some beliefs that work for you. For instance, you might think something like this. I'm going to build connection with my brand new customers so that they come back even when the stores reopen and the shelves are restocked. Now, that's a great belief that will guarantee they come back. Why and how? Because when you believe that thought, I'm going to build connection with my brand new customers so that they come back even when the stores reopen, you feel driven to do the things you learned from me about marketing. Remember, I've talked about this in other episodes. Our thoughts create our feelings. That thought or the belief creates a feeling of driven, perhaps, or motivation, or confidence, or something similar for you. And then what happens is our feelings drive all action. So the feeling of driven will result in all sorts of productive actions, resulting in them coming back. Okay? Now, this is something scientists can show us. Feelings drive our actions. So there's a part of your brain that the emotional, where you feel your emotions and part of your brain, if that part of your brain is destroyed, people do not take action. They just die. They are not driven to find food. They aren't motivated to take care of themselves. They aren't motivated to protect themselves, and they just die. So we take action from our feelings. So I don't want you to just have haphazard feelings. I want you to learn to create very intentional feelings with your thoughts. That's where it goes back to. And I will teach you this on the coaching call too. When you sign up for that, I'm going to give you a little brief, bigger lesson on that because this is so important. This is actually everything in your business. So let's get back to the thought. Some farmers will come to me and they'll say things like, no one checks email anymore, or email marketing doesn't work. I tried it. It doesn't work. Well, that's not a fact. It's just a thought that you have, and it's a super unproductive thought. If you think email marketing doesn't work, here's what I can tell you. You're going to prove it true to yourself because you're going to send an email and it's going to have a tone in it that people are turned off by no one's going to make any sales or buy anything. And you're going to say, see, it didn't work. All because you started with a thought that email marketing doesn't work. All right. So I know this might be crazy if this is the first time you've been introduced to this. When you have a different thought, like email marketing is the foundation of my business, then you will feel driven or motivated or creative or focused, and you will practice your email marketing. And then you're going to have customers come back and you're going to prove that thought is true. So what I want you to do every day is get up and practice that thought. Something like, come up with a thought that works for you, but something like, I'm going to build and maintain connection with my customers so that they will be loyal when the stores are restocked or when everything goes back to normal. All right? Start with a similar thought, whatever works for you, write it down and practice that. Super important. Now, how do I know what I teach works? Because I teach this to hundreds of farmers a year in my marketing course, and it works for them and it works for us on our farm. So start with a belief. Your profitable farm, your successful farm, retaining customers, all starts with you believing that that is possible. Second thing, you've got to be able to connect with these people via email. Don't rely on social media. Only a teeny percentage of these customers will ever see you again in their feed on social media. So make sure you get their emails. Now, if you say, oh, none of my customers have email. Well, that's a lie you're telling yourself. I've actually had people tell me that. And I've had people tell me none of my customers check their email too. I want to assure you that is a thought, that is not a fact. And it's not serving you. But guess what? You can prove that thought true, because if you think that none of your customers have email, none of your customers check their email, then you won't put any effort into email marketing and you won't have a successful business. So I need you to put that thought aside because it's not true. Almost everybody orders things on Amazon regularly, and you've got to have an email address to order things on Amazon. And when you're trying to figure out, where'd my order go or when it's going to arrive, you open your email and you read it. So people have email. They check their email. Now, if you absolutely live in a place where 100% of your customers don't have email and you know that for a fact, then of course, you're listening to the wrong podcast because email marketing won't work for you. But I don't know anyone like that. I have people who try to tell me that, but when we really take a look at their ideal customer base, it's just a thought that they were thinking in their head that was not serving them. Okay, so I don't want you to get caught up with thinking that nobody checks email anymore. And in my marketing course, of course, we teach you how to teach your customers to check their email more often, read your emails, and also to make sure that your emails go to their inbox instead of to spam or the promotions tab. You have to be intentional about that. You can't just hope that your email ends up in the right place, all right? You have to teach them how to make sure it gets into the inbox. So I teach you all those strategies here, but today I'm just teaching you how to retain these new customers that you've gotten so lucky to get in the last month and in the next few months. So then you've got to ask people for their email. Doesn't matter how busy you are, you've got to take time to write down their email when you're communicating with them. So I don't know if they're clicking links online on your website and ordering, or if they are calling you up or sending you emails. However they are ordering, you've got to get their email from them. Make sure you communicate to them that you need to get their email on your email list so that you can keep them apprised of availability and changes and all that they need to know in this crazy time. So some of you are telling me you're really super busy and overwhelmed and you're selling out. And I just want to make sure that even though you're that busy, take an extra 30 seconds and get their email. This is going to be really important for your long-term profitability and sustainability. So don't think for a minute you don't have time to do that. because you will be so grateful you did it in the future when you still have a business a year from now. All right. So just take less than a minute, write down their email. Prioritize taking the time to do that. Then at the end of your day, I want to make sure that you or someone in your family, okay, this is really key, you guys. This is what really got us profitable quickly. Make sure that you take time to send everybody an individual personal email the same day or within 24 hours. The connection gets colder and colder after they buy. And I don't mean that you add them to your email list yet and you email them someday when you take time through your mass email marketing. No, that's not what I'm talking about. You're going to do that too. But the first thing is you go home or you go to your office, you go to your computer, and you send them a personal email from your personal farm email inbox. And you say something very nice, like, thank you so much for purchasing from us today. I'm so grateful for your order, and I want to make sure that we serve you in the best way possible. I'm going to add you to our email list so that you can be kept up on all the changes in these trying times. But I just wanted to personally give you a huge thank you. And you can even be really friendly and say like a virtual hug or something like that, and sign it warmly and your first name or your first and last name. So again, a very warm email. You are not selling them anything more in this email. You're not saying, go check out our website or go do this or look here or we're going to have a sale on this. You're not saying anything salesy whatsoever. This is just a short 3-sentence email that says how wonderful it was to meet them online today or to take their order or to help them or introduce them to your farm. And you want to make sure that you answer all their questions. So just really sweet and short and personal. What's going to happen is that is a huge step in building trust and connection. I get a lot of emails back when I do this from people who say, oh my gosh, your email brought tears to my eyes. I'm not kidding you, but people don't get warm personal emails from businesses like this. And you can change lives just with this little email. It's crazy the emails I get back from my customers when I take the moment to do this. They're like, oh, this email just made my day. Thank you. I can't wait to get my products from you. So this is just something that it seems really insignificant, but it is huge with building connection and loyalty from the customer. What it does is you have this effect of you will delight them and surprise them by sending them this personal email. All right, next. The next step after this is to be sure that you get them loaded into your email service, your marketing software. All right, I've taught you how to do all this for free, so there's no reason anybody listening to this episode shouldn't have that set up already. Okay, so, and I will link up to our free email course if you haven't taken it yet, but make sure they're loaded into your email marketing software. That might be MailChimp or ConvertKit or Aweber or Constant Contact. Any of them work. Just get signed up with one and get them on your email list. Then once you send them the personal email at the end of the day, and then you've loaded them into your email marketing software, make sure that you're emailing your list a minimum of every 2 weeks from there forward. In this crazy time, it's going to be really tempting to let that communication slide, but this is what guarantees they will be loyal and that you will retain them. So if you're saying, oh, I don't have time to do that, well, then seriously, you don't have time to have a farm business. It comes down to that. You've got to make time to do that or you won't have a business. So you do absolutely have time to put emails into your email marketing service provider. And then the other thing I want you to know about that is when you send out emails every 2 weeks, the things you're writing about are the things that they want to hear from you about, okay? These are not sales emails. I always talk about the 80-20 rule that you're sending relationship building email copy 80% of the time and you're only selling 20% or less of the time, okay? And all the things they want to hear from you about are things that I covered in my branding episodes, number 22 and 23. So there you're going to learn how to figure out what they want to hear from you about in the relationship building emails. So then I just want to emphasize, you got to understand that it is the consistent connection as to why people will come back and shop with you after this. If you hope they come back and they never hear from you again, or they hear from you 6 months from now when the grocery store shelves filled back up and you're trying to get them to come back to you, they won't be back to shop with you, all right? It's consistent connection that will make them come back. They've got to hear from you every 2 weeks. Let me tell you a little story on this. I have a girlfriend with a gift shop not far from me. It's probably the closest gift shop to me because we live out in the country. It's about 5 miles away. It's the closest place that I could drop in and buy a cute card for somebody's birthday, or a housewarming gift, or a hostess gift, or something for my daughter, for instance. Or if I need a gift for one of my customers, it is the closest place for me to run out and do that. But I never remember to go there because I forget. And it's a friend of mine's gift shop. She's had it for years, and I forget she has a gift shop because I have a busy life like all of our customers do, and it's not on the top of my mind. So one day I was in there, this was years ago, and I said, you could gather the emails of everyone that walks in your store and then send them an email. And she says, oh, we do. We have this huge email list, but I don't know what to do with it. So she has never put those emails into an email service provider and sent me an email. And even though she's my friend, I forget she has a gift shop where I could buy things. So I end up picking up something at the local grocery store, or I stop in at Target or whatever. And only afterwards, weeks later, I might think, oh, I could have run to her store. So they are hurting for sales. They have never made a profit ever. They bleed money every month, and she's too busy to email her list. So many, many farmers are just like her. Don't make that mistake. Don't make that mistake, or you won't have a business. All right, so let me sum up what you're going to do to retain customers during this pandemic. If you have a barrage of customers, you've got to make sure, number one, that you have a belief that you are going to maintain connection with them so they come back. You're writing down every single customer's email, no matter how they come across you, whether it's online or calling you up or in person at a drop site or delivery. Even though you're practicing social distancing, you've still got to do this. Maybe you're texting them. So I've given you all kinds of tips on how to ask for their email. Then you go home. At the end of every single day, you send every new person who purchased a personal email. Very simple, just 3 lines, very warm, all about relationship, nothing about sales. They're going to be so touched by this personal email that it builds trust and connection, and they will want to buy from you, and they will remember you. Then load them into your email marketing software, send them an email every 2 weeks minimum, year-round, focused on 80% relationship building, 20% sales, and 80% of them will be back when all this evens out, levels out, changes, when the grocery store shelves go back to being stocked, okay? All right, that's it for today. This is going to work for you tremendously. Very, very simple process. And then remember to sign up for the coaching calls I've got going on for the next couple of months. That is at 3cowmarketing.com/coaching. And sign up. If you can't be there live, you will get the replay emailed to you. And I'm doing different days and different times to accommodate most people's schedules, no matter where you are in the world. And if you want live coaching, send me an email and I'll get you scheduled. We'll do it at a time that you can be there and I can get you some help. Okay. Thanks, you guys. I can't wait to see you in our coaching calls, and I'll see you on the next episode. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much for tuning in to today's episode. For more great resources, check out theprofitablemindset.com. See you next time.